G'day guys, Al Lewison.
Cam McLellan. Sorry, I just
It's got the black lung.
I've got the black lung at the moment. I've got the man flu. I'm sucking you about at home too.
Sucky biatch.
All right. Thanks very much.
We're working through the series, the MAP series, market, area and property. We talked many videos ago about finding the right market or ruling out the ones you don't want. Same with the area. And we're now working our way progressively through finding the right property.
So we've done buying under the median house price. What did we do last time? We did
Cost to hold.
Cost to hold.
Low cost to
Having
hold.
low cost to hold.
Yeah.
So low cost to hold with the most amount of asset.
This one probably helps, when we'll talk about today, helps with the one prior, which is optimum size and quality. So if you want to build a Taj Mahal, clearly it's going to cost you much more out of your own pocket than it needs to. But they all seem to fit together. So we talked earlier about how the valuers come and look at a property. The triangle Cam talked about. We talked about low cost to hold, and we're going to talk about optimum size and quality today. So all those things fit together, right? Because if you've got the biggest house in the suburb, guess what? The valuer goes and knocks on the door and he finds it very difficult to give you a favourable valuation that's leading towards growth, because you're probably sitting there as a one-off and unique property in the market, similar with low cost to hold. So what's the best way that we can show, Cam, the optimum size and quality?
All right. Now, I got caught out in this. Felicity and I did a development. This is going back 20 odd years. It was actually Felicity's first property purchase. I mentioned this, right? So we were going, she was 19 years old. I was a couple of years older, 4 years older, something like that. We went home and without consulting her dad at all, we rolled in and said, hey, Pete, or she said, Dad, I just bought a property. After he's picked himself off the floor, is looking at me like I'm the devil for talking his daughter into buying a property. I then had to break it to him to go, yeah, well, it's not just a property. We're going to build 4 units on the back of it. So you can see why he felt that I was probably not a suitable suitor for his daughter at that point in time. Anyway, here's the issue. So this is one of the biggest mistakes I made in property. Turned out all right in the end, but this taught me an invaluable lesson, which I've carried through for all of our houses for the rest of our portfolios from this point onwards. So if you look at the optimum size and quality, I'll do dollars in value and rent, and I'll do this way. So that's that way. I'll do size and quality. That work?
It works, Cam.
Yeah, all right.
That's really good.
So in any suburb, and this is what I got to the point. So when I went to the draftsman to draw out the 4 units on the back of this established house, without giving much instruction, all the developments we've done before were small, dual locks or triacs. We're trying to jam as much as we could into the backyard. This thing was 2,600 square metres, and I went to the same draftsman and said, can you put 4 units on the back of this? Without really giving much instruction, he drew units that were quite a lot larger. So each one of these, once I worked out, the build cost was going to cost about 40 grand more. This is a lot of money back then. 40 grand more to build each one of them. But I wasn't going to get any more in sales price, and this was a real shock to me. So we ended up selling, we bought that property for 370 grand, we sold it for about 512,000. We sold it for 512,000. So we actually did all right out of it, but that was the market moving, and we sold it with plans and permits for these oversized units. But here's the reason why. This is why getting the optimum size and quality, and this is why we get down in the office here. You'll often see the girls from the build team. What they'll do is they'll draw out on the floor, they'll tape measures out, and they're actually recreating interiors of houses and working out the furniture and the size and how they can get the design to the optimum size. And I'll explain to you the dollar factor why. So there gets to a point, if you keep increasing the size and quality of a build, that in that area, the value and rent peaks out. So yeah, makes sense? So basically I've capped out, and this is what happened to me. I built larger, I designed larger than the market could handle in sale value. If you think about fixtures and fittings is one thing, so quality is one thing to consider. You want to make sure you've got good quality for the area. Don't build a dog box. If you think of the different grades of builds, you've got first home buyers, you've got investors, and homeowners are probably similar quality property. That's what you want to aim for. So similar quality in the area.
And everyone sort of knows the area that they're in or they're looking at a property in. And if you bring a local real estate agent, you say, I've got a 4-bedroom house on a 400 square metre block. What's it worth? They'll give you a band. They go, the house is probably worth about that much. If you go to town and build a house that's 50% bigger than every other house there, it's still in the band. You've just thrown money away.
Yeah. So we get down to the degree of, you want something to feel, so it's very livable, not a dog box, but you want valuers value bedrooms, and tenants pay for bedrooms. Yeah. So I'll give you a really raw example of how to save 10 grand on a build. Most builders want to build bigger, draftsmen draw bigger, estate agents want bigger, Tenants want bigger, property managers want bigger, everyone wants bigger, but the investor. The investor needs to keep smart and stick to their guns and have a real understanding of building design. So really raw, without going through every single bedroom, nook and cranny to try and maximise the perfect design, what we do for clients, and what I explain to the clients if they sort of get emotional about it, this is not having a jab at them. I've never had to say this, but I've given the example of if you've got a
He'll say
it straight to your face. If you've got a 20 metre build and you can have a dining table with a chair that pulls out and there's enough room between the chair and the wall to feel comfortable, if you can bring that wall in 500 mil and still have a chair that pulls out and feels comfortable to that wall, and you run that by 20 metres at $1,000 a square, well, you just saved yourself 10 grand. So a really good way to put it is if you grab a rubbish bin and you say, I think it's just nicer, people might live in a little bit bigger house, they want a media room. You know, look, you could do that, but it's going to cost you another 10 grand more. Or you could save that money and put it towards the next property. But if you're really going to go and do it, that's fine, but just consider this. What you're doing is, you're not going to get any more value or rent. So really you're getting $10,000. So go over to the bank for me, in the ATM, and get $10,000 out, bring it back, we'll pop it in a steel rubbish bin, and then we'll set it on fire. Because that's what you're doing with your money.
And you get some joy out. You get to at least enjoy the entertainment of the smoke and the fire. Otherwise, just literally throw it away.
Hopefully that makes sense. Optimum size quality for the area, and understand investors are pushing stuff uphill against the rest of the end. Everyone else wants bigger. Investors want optimum
the
quality
dining
size.
room's got no business being bigger than a metre wide.
No, that's right.
Well,
Eat off a little bench.
Those neat seat things you put in your knee, you leave on the couch. Get rid of it. It's gone.
Stable table.